Hey guys, Eric Hovind here with CreationToday.org. My guest, Chaplain Michael from SMI, Serve Ministries, Inc. That sounds like fun. How you doing today?
Great. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed, man. You work with the military, with veterans, with first responders, and you actually do the training for the chaplains that serve in the crisis and trauma that happens with everything that goes on in our crazy world. What is that like?
Well, I tell you, it's very challenging, but very needed work.
No kidding.
What I see out there all the time and what I'm approached to is just a lot of really unmet needs out there. Whether it be with our veterans that are going through times of dealing with their battlefield experiences and the transition from the military and getting the necessary support and services that they need, or I'm dealing with first responders who are serving within our communities, are being exposed daily to some pretty traumatic events. They really need that support out there, and we try to train disciples that can go out there and have a heart to minister to them.
Wow, so if somebody wants to be a blessing in somebody else's life, you train them how to do that in a powerful way.
Absolutely, and we don't necessarily need guys who have a long history of being a professional chaplain. They can come with very little to no experience, but just have a calling from God to minister to them, and we can put them on that path to be able to make a difference in someone's life.
What is it like? What are the kind of the requirements when somebody says, "Hey, Michael, I want to do that. Chaplain Michael, hook me up, help me." What does that look like to start a program? Is it something they have to come to do? Is it online? How do you guys facilitate this, especially today?
Yeah, we have an online program for education.
Nice.
And one of the beautiful things about that is we take people as they are. So many of them come with experiences of serving within the ranks already. And we really believe that it takes sometimes a veteran to heal a veteran, a firefighter to heal a firefighter, a police officer to heal a police officer. And many of them have the heart and the calling to do it. All we're doing is really just training and equipping them with the necessary resources that they need to really make an impact and really to actually help them in their time of need.
Wow. Sounds like you're the guide that can take them right where God wants them to go in service. That's really cool. Guys, if you're interested in doing a form of service, one of the best ways you can help others, because you probably have story after story of lives that could have taken a radically different turn, but because of somebody in their life, it actually guided them to the right spot.
Absolutely.
Wow, and you could be that guide that God uses to take them to the right spot. What's going on? You know, I hear of suicides, I hear stuff like this. What's going on out there? What's happening in the world of first responders and veterans?
Well, I think it's a constant battle. I think when it comes to veterans, I think we've only really scratched the surface. Even though that we've been a nation at war for 2 decades now, I think we're really only scratching the surface of how to actually really reach them. Because veterans, you know, and first responders for that matter, they're very type A personality guys. They think that they can handle everything themselves, right? So they go and they respond to the call. They think that they're the ones that have to be in charge of the situation, but they don't always realize that they're being wounded by serving in that way.
Wow.
And so, and the typical response of what many of them do is they end up going into isolation and they start shutting people out. It starts impacting their families, it starts impacting them personally, and it can start actually even affecting their job performance. And so what we really try to do is be assertive enough to get into their lives where we're talking to them and we're able to help them, and we're able to do that in a non-confrontational or non-threatening kind of way.
So you know and you recognize this is not just a material world. There is a spiritual element to every individual's life, and you're training people to see that and to work with that.
Right, because I think even with a lot of these other organizations, like when they have a physical wound, they know that they need to go see a doctor, right? If they have an emotional wound, they know that they can go to some kind of, psychiatrist to get that type of professional help. When they have things that they're dealing with families and relationships, they can also go and see a counselor for that. But a lot of times that they don't really realize that they're also being affected spiritually. And so what our chaplains are really equipped to do is to recognize all those different needs, help them get that necessary help through all those different types of needs, but also really minister to them on that spiritual component.
How big is the need for chaplains. I mean, we hear of lots of hurt, we hear of suicides. You told me a statistic. How often a veteran commits suicide?
We lose a veteran every 65 minutes to suicide.
Unbelievable.
The rate at which we are losing veterans is even higher than the rate than we're losing them in combat.
Unbelievable.
The same goes for first responders. We are losing more first responders to suicide than they are being lost within the line of duty. And so in both populations of people, military or first responders, suicide is a real serious problem. It's one of the many different issues that are confronted with them, and we want to be part of that solution.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for the work that you do to train others to be a part of that. Tell people how to get a hold of you. And there's somebody out there right now going, well, I would like to help somebody. I'm good at listening, or I've got some experience, or I've got no experience, but by golly, we got to help. Let's do something. How do they get involved and help you?
Yeah, you can reach us by looking us up on our website at serveministriesinc.com. And then just hit the contact button there, reach out to us, and we would love to hear from you.
And you can do all the training. You can take people from zero experience all the way to a VA chaplain and walk them along that entire process.
Absolutely. We have multiple levels. We have a very enriched training program that it can take somebody that, whether they have 50 years experience being a chaplain, we can help them also get those additional types of training that they're looking for. But we could take somebody who has very little to no experience but has a strong calling from God and take them the whole way.
Sounds like our first responders and our veterans, they need your help. Would you answer the call, and would you serve with Serve Ministries, Inc.? I think that's a great idea. Chaplain Mike, thank you for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.